Hey everybody, it's John with American Crawlspace Solutions. I'm doing a crawlspace here in Macon, Georgia this morning. There's a potential customer who's buying a house and he wanted to have the crawlspace checked out for mold and moisture. So just wanted to show you guys a few things down here that we commonly see in crawlspaces. Here we've got one of the main girders and it's got some mold growing on it. These white spots right here, I'm going to move the laser so you can see that a little better. There's a little bit of surface mold growing on the joists here. It's definitely not that bad, but it is mold. The only reason mold would be growing down here is because the air is humid, and when the air gets humid, we know that the wood will soak up the water in the air and it'll start to grow mold. So you can see that that's pretty much a good case of how it looks, a good example of how this looks throughout the whole space. There's also something going on up here in the front corner. This crawl space has had some water intrusion in the past. You can see here where the soil is eroded a little bit along the edges. Especially right here. You can see where water has been coming in. That's because I've got a concrete block wall construction here. On the other side of this wall, it's underground. So when the water pressure builds up in the soil, some of it is going to leak through here, and it's leaking in here. We can fix that with a drain system and a sump pump down here on the low end. But not a whole lot of mold back here, but there is some in here. The other thing I wanted to show you, see how the insulation here is sagging? It wasn't installed that way. The reason that happens is because the air in here gets wet because they've got the vents open. You can see the daylight coming through there. A lot of people think that's the best way to keep the crawl space dry, but it's actually a great way to keep the crawl space wet. It lets in outside humidity. Basically, the simplest way to think about it is you can't dry the air in here by introducing outside air. It doesn't work that way in Georgia. So the outside air is coming in here and it makes the air wet in here, and then the insulation gets wet and it starts to sag. So that's another thing that's going on in here. You can see some over there, it's on the ground already. So not the best way to set this space up. We can clean it. We can clean the mold with our soda blaster, and we can also get the air nice and dry with an encapsulation system and a nice dehumidifier down here. If you have any questions about what we do, check us out online at AmericanCrawlSpaceSolutions.com. Thanks.